Channel 12 News, coming to you live. OPC News 12, take one. Let me count you here. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Dana. Good morning. This is your OPC 12 Channel Morning News Program. We are joyfully reporting to you live from the Four Points Sheridan Conference Centre in London, Ontario. All across this big, beautiful province, members have been embracing the theme, "Here I am, Lord, send me," and our reporters will showcase how. Topping today's news, our ace reporter, Ontario Provincial Council Vice President, Karen McDonald, will give us the real scoop. Karen?
Hello, Wilma. Karen McDonald in London, bringing you exciting news. It just came across the wire from the Catholic Women's League. The Ontario Provincial Council is gathering for their 78th annual provincial convention, and they are one joyful bunch. Let's hear it. We just have the 10 new first-time attendees to this convention. They came last year in Sudbury, enjoyed it so much, they came back. How about that? And this just in, Wilma, an inside source told me that several councils in Ontario have reported an increase in membership. Yes, you heard me right. And here's a few highlights. St. Teresa's in Temiskaming, that's the Pembroke Diocese, has 8 new members. St. John the Evangelist from a tiny small parish in Kirkfield, that's Peterborough Diocese, increased by 5 members. St. Julia's in St. Catherine's has doubled in size in the last 3 years. Increased by 33 members in 2022, 37 members in 2023, and 18 members in 2024. Counted 88 new members in 3 years, ladies. It gets better. In 2024 in the Toronto Diocese, 38 councils reported an increase in membership. Immaculate Conception Council, just a couple of highlights, in Port Perry went up by 35 members. And in 2025, in Toronto Diocese, 18 councils reported an increase in members. Holy Martyrs of Japan Council, I'm told that's in the northern region, Wilma, went up by 17 members. And last but not least, and you're going to love it because we're in London, London Diocese, I understand there was a challenge went out from their diocesan council, gained 432 new members. Now there's some joyful news, Madam President. I can't believe they pay me to do this job, Wilma. I mean, I'd report this news for free. And there's more joyful news has been handed to me, Wilma. Milestone Parish Council anniversaries. They're all happening across this province. In Hearst Moosonee Diocese, Holy Name of Jesus in Hornpain, way up there, celebrating 70 years. London Diocese, 2 council anniversaries. St. Clement's in McGregor, celebrating 90 years. St. Michael's in Dresden, 100 years. In Pembroke Diocese, St. Anne's in Calumet Island, 75 years. And then in Peterborough Diocese, there's 3 council anniversaries. St. Joseph's in Powassan, 80 years. St. Joseph's in Douro, celebrating 90 years. That St. Joseph's a popular saint, isn't he? And St. Patrick's Council in Kinmount, wait for it, 103 years. It's kind of how old I felt this morning when I walked. In Sault Ste. Marie Diocese, in the Sault Ste. Marie region of our diocese, Holy Family 60 years. In the Sudbury region, Christ the King celebrated 100 years. Our Lady of Hope, which I know well, 65 years. And St. Kevin's celebrated 60 years. That's in the Sudbury region. Then in North Bay, Holy Name of Jesus just celebrated 70 years. And Our Lady of Sorrows at Sturgeon Falls, 75 years. And then in Toronto Diocese, there's several councils, too many to name today, but a couple of highlights. The 85th anniversary of St. John the Evangelist in Whitby. And a couple of 70th anniversaries, St. Pius X in Toronto and St. Patrick in Mississauga. We sincerely wish all of the members of all of the councils and everyone in the League for their service. The Ontario Provincial Council has issued the 2024 Annual Report Book. In it, you will find the reports from our spiritual advisor, our president, and all of the OPC executive, as well as the diocesan presidents. Be sure to get your copy. It is online, and also spread the joyful news of the exciting information that's found in the annual report book. Well done. Give yourselves a clap for all the work that's in there. Thank you. That's all for now, Wilma. Oh, wait. More breaking news. We've highlighted already, but 53 members, and they're here today attending for the first time. That's amazing. Rumor has it there may be a subsidy for those first-time attendees. Stay tuned. Signing off now, Wilma.
Thank you, Chairman. Our councils are really spreading the joy of sisterhood in the League, and it is getting results. Now our Queen's Park and Parliament Hill political and social justice reporter, Valyrian Mitchell, has been watching what our government has been up to and has her sources on the pulse of what is happening. Valyrian?
Yes, I am coming to you live from the front lines of policy and prayer, where faith meets action. Let's take a look at what our resolutions champions are drafting for legislation and how our CWL sisters are stepping up, speaking out, and sprinkling a little salt and light into our world of politics. Keep in mind, it's a movement, not just for the moment. The provincial and diocesan social justice chair and almost 300 delegates attending the 78th Annual Ontario Provincial Convention and Annual Meeting of Members are now meeting with local London, Ontario members of Parliament. Peter Fragiskos, London North, Ariel Carabash, London West, Kurt Pullman, London Fanshawe, Andrew Lawton, London South, Leanne Ward, Middlesex, London. Here I am, Lord sent me, and sent I was. That was the message women from the Catholic Women's League throughout Ontario have been sending. Decked in royal blue with yellow accents, coffee, pies, cookies, and baked goods, groceries and notebook in hand, they were loud. It became clear quickly that this wasn't going to be a quiet gig. I knew this assignment would uncover many issues that deserve a spotlight and possibly a megaphone to alert members and officials alike. They came not as tourists, but as advocates, armed with statistics, stories, resolutions, and a deep belief in the dignity of every person to be seen and to be heard, to influence public policy through the lens of faith, service, and social justice. This was not lobbying, this was faith-based civic action with compassion. The issues at the table.
What are some of the issues of these faith-filled women?
These faith warriors urged the MPs to act on a variety of social justice and legislation issues. The women came with clarity and conviction. At the top of the agenda was protecting charitable status for religious and pro-life organizations. They voiced serious concerns over the two controversial Finance Committee proposals. The recommendation 429, which would revoke charitable status for anti-abortion organization, and recommendation 430, which would remove the advancement of religion as a charitable purpose under the income tax. Members say these proposals, if passed, would dismantle thousands of charities providing food, shelter, education, and social programs. Kate Montague, St. Catherine's, Diocesan Social Justice Chair, she said, "This isn't just about tax codes, it's about who we are as a country. Religious charities, including Catholic organizations, do more than preach, feed the hungry, and care for the sick. We need the government to recognize that protecting religious freedom amidst changing regulatory and tax frameworks are paramount," she continued.
How are these women defending the right to life from conception to natural death?
They are vehemently opposed to medical assistance in dying, expansion and advancement requests. Christina Boyle from the Toronto Diocese Social Justice Chair said, "Instead, advocate for Horizons of Hope as the better option. The program looks at palliative care from the perspective of Catholic moral and pastoral theology, medical expertise, and compassionate community model." The program was held during National Palliative Care Week in May 2025 with in-person attendance from St. John Fisher Brampton, Toronto Diocese, and members from Toronto Diocese throughout Ontario, the province of Ontario, and other provinces came in virtually. Others said that it is clear that the federal government needs to expand palliative care and ask the MPs to take action on holistic end-of-life support.
What are some of the other notable ways the CWL members are putting their faith into action?
Wilma, the women are unapologetically passionate on pushing for housing solutions for individuals experiencing homelessness, food insecurity, mental illness, and many more causes. Also combating human trafficking through legislation They also asked to make the GST exemption permanent for children's products like car seats and diapers, and to expand it to cover all child safety products. This will address the CWL Resolution 2017-03, zero-rated tax status for goods and services. On the environmental front, members are demanding protection for water, land, and communities most affected by environmental decline. They want Canada to lead, not lag, on climate policy with investment that are both practical. Celeste Goose from Kingston Diocese said, "We are not just asking for laws, we're asking for leadership. From clean water to climate action, the time to protect God's creation is now," she says.
I hear that members are proposing new resolutions at this convention in hopes that if adopted, they go to national, and if adopted there, be presented to the federal government to change existing or creating new laws.
Yes, that is correct, Wilma. Donna Provost, Pembroke, Social Justice Chair, said, "We are not just here to oppose, we are here to propose. These are the practical and doable requests." This is how the members are advocating to government through resolutions, the three being presented, ON 2501, expand the criminal code to protect politicians against acts of violence and incivility, gifted to us by Sault Ste. Marie Diocese via Our Lady of Hope Council. Resolution ON 2502, federal government to create a unified and centralized cyber reporting system for all Canadians. Toronto Diocese via St. Joseph Council, Mississauga. And finally, ON 2503, federal government to develop the Health Canada Office of Palliative Care. Toronto Diocese via Peel Regional Council.
Hillary, what would you say were the key takeaways from the meetings with the MPs?
What made this advocacy day unique was the spiritual foundation underpinning the meetings. The women brought prayer into the halls of power as a reminder to the greater mission behind their visit. I think it's you.
No, shoot.
What was accomplished? Yes, okay. We shifted perception. They showed the MPs that people of faith are engaged, informed, and organized. Amplified the moral voice on life, justice, care for creation, and the rights of the vulnerable. Linda Van Ray, Diocesan Social Chair, right here from London, said, no, where are we, London? This isn't about forcing faith into politics. It's about ensuring that policies don't forget the faith, dignity, and the needs of the people that they affect. Change takes time, said Marie Black, Diocesan Social Chair in Timmins. But we remain persistent and prayerful. We will move hearts and policies towards the common good. The women stressed that their work continues year-round through letter-writing campaigns, petitions, resolutions, education, and social justice committees. Local engagement with lawmakers. This isn't about one day in Ottawa, said Julia Calvary, Diocesan Social Chair from Hamilton. It's a lifelong mission of faithful citizenship. And to close off, Patty Fitzgerald Nolan, life member, Provincial Social Justice and Economic Team, wrapped up the morning, saying, with a clear message on behalf of all delegates. We are not here to divide or demand. We are here to collaborate and care. Catholic women are engaged, informed, and essential and ready to speak for the common good. Reporting live from London, Ontario, at the Ontario Provincial Convention, Valyrian Mitchell for OPC 12. Now back to you, Wilma, in studio.
Thank you, Hillary. There is a lot happening on the political beat and beyond. We will continue to follow the outcomes of these important discussions. We interrupt this program to bring you this late breaking news report. We have our faith reporter, Claudette Langdon. Claudette, tell us about this breaking news.
Wilma, I have some exciting news to share with our viewers. The breaking news is not dramatic, but it is dynamic. The Ontario Provincial Council has a new spiritual advisor.
Thank you, Claudette. That's the kind of breaking news that doesn't just make headlines, it makes halos shine. We look forward to getting to know Bishop Campbell from Thunder Bay. Claudette, the head hotline is ringing from heaven, and we here members are answering the call. What can you tell us about the prayers, devotions, and divine surprises happening across the province?
Wilma, I want to let our viewers know that the CWL ladies from parishes all over the province are showing us amazing things with their faith, prayers, and devotions. and they are storming the heavens. Wilma, speaking of divine surprises, viewers know the CWL members are prayer warriors, but look what has been embraced by all the dioceses and their spiritual advisors. We work diligently to successfully implement prayers across the province.
Yay!
It is so exciting to hear that masses are being heard across Ontario once a month by each diocese, by the OPC executive for the intention of all members in their diocese. Imagine that each diocese organized a mass once a month. Also imagine the logistics of organizing these masses. We are celebrating 12 masses per diocese per year. That's a total of 156 masses per year, Wilma. We are so thankful to the diocesan and parish spiritual advisors and the diocesan council faith chairs and presidents for this wonderful initiative. Our members surely answered the call, and the outcome was spiritually uplifting. What a joy to behold.
What can you tell us about how faith is fueling action, hope, and joy in our councils?
Wilma, as you know, our Facebook postings on faith have been a spiritual blessing, and there has been an uptake on members reading them, sharing them, and commenting. That's engagement. The OPC Faith subcommittee members have provided amazing input. Louise Biggs from Ottawa Cornwall Diocese, Elena Lazard from Pembroke Diocese, and Kathy McKinney, who is also the keeper of the Book of Life from Sault Ste. Marie. Faith is in action, alive and well in every council. With saints as our models and spirit as our guide, there is no doubt that members are answering the call. We know if you ask a member to help or share her talents, the answer is always yes. We have had wonderful faith webinar presentations. Bishop Dowd on the Holy Doors, Sister Susan Scott on ecumenical and interfaith collaboration, and Kathy McKenna on deceased member reporting. Kathy also initiated a new deceased member process, which is on the website. Kathy has been a lifeline for me and the councils to ensure our reporting goes smoothly and we leave no member behind. Did you know that Ontario is the only province that has a keeper of the Book of Life? Let's also mention our dear life members, who are always willing to provide their gifts and wisdom. 4 answered the call to review the Bishop Papin Bursary Fund application process to improve this for our seminarians. These life members are Shirley Bernier, Anne D'Souza, Rebecca McCall, and Glenn Clem. Stay tuned to learn about the improvements in the process. Wilma, I want our viewers to know it has been an exciting year serving as provincial faith chair. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for all that they do in their faith endeavors. Wilma, there may just be some angels among us. God
Thank you, Claudette, for that joy-filled report. Lisa Billingham, our meteorologist with all the numbers, will now give us a weather forecast for the OPC 12 viewing area. Just when you thought the forecast was all clear, here comes a financial front with powerful gusts of stewardship, sunny savings, and the occasional cloud over the seas. Here's Lisa to bring us the full weather picture. Lisa?
Thank you, Wilma. The financial climate has been shifting patterns throughout the year, from storm watches to potential heavy rain and possible flood warnings to fog patches affecting visibility. Through it all, weather watchers are also known as the Administration Committee, have been on alert and looking out for potential extreme weather conditions. Let me recap the year. We experienced a tropical front that brought warmer temperatures that reflected in a rise in the funds of the Bishop Papin Bursary Fund. The rays of sunshine basked over the generosity of our councils, illuminating the importance of this fund to our members and their financial support to the seminarians across our province. Membership is facing a barometric pressure, causing a drop in numbers. We are looking to shift the wind patterns to bring relief and new memberships that will bring higher temperatures to the general funds. Our hope is sunny skies are ahead with the membership. Gale force winds were blowing through the OPC, forcing the council to batten down the hatches. A calming breeze was obtained with cost-cutting values such as the fall and winter executive meetings being held virtually, which resulted in a large influx of savings. A further reduction in expenses occurred with the Resolutions Review Committee meeting virtually rather than in person. These two cost-saving fronts have helped us to steady the temperatures, calm the winds, and keep the possible heat at bay, except for today. There were overcast skies and rain with limited sunshine for a time, but a complete review of expenditures to reduce costs without compromising our mission brought the sun out from behind the clouds. Changes to the business accounts allow for more interest values on our liquid funds and a reduction in fees, helping to prevent potential flooding as well. These new streamlined financial operations help to increase efficiency and simplicity, reporting to help long and short-range forecasts moving forward. To further reduce fog hazards and visibility issues, a business Visa card was secured. This will allow us to recover funds and facilitate more flexible financial management. This will let the sun rays peek through the fog and bring clearing skies and a little income too. Your Weather Watch team is doing all they can to navigate the constant turbulence and rising costs, as well as the changes to our finances. We are weathering the storms and patterns by always continuing to find ways to reduce costs and fluctuations and increase potential earnings and keep you informed. Just like the Farmer's Almanac, we see the potential for warmer temperatures and sunny skies ahead.
We will be right back after this commercial message.
It's great, Vanilla. I just wanted to touch base with you because I know there's lots of ways for us to gain information from OPC, and I'm just kind of stumped beyond going onto the website and using a Facebook page. So I thought I'd touch base with you and get a little bit of an update and a lowdown on what's going on with OPC.
Yeah, for sure. There's actually lots of ways we stay connected with OPC. We have, like you mentioned, our Facebook page, but we're also on Instagram and we're on YouTube. And those are all listed on our website. So if you check out our website, CWL.on.ca, you'll be able to find our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channels. Something else that people probably don't know yet is that we have an upcoming podcast that we're launching very shortly. And these will be fun stories, fun resources, opportunities to hear from CWL members across Ontario about all of the exciting and inspiring things that are happening within our community. And I know you know all about our monthly newsletters, which is another really awesome resource too.
Yes. Our newsletter is wonderful. It's really taken off this year, and it's easy to subscribe to the newsletter. There's a place on the bottom of the homepage on our website, and just click and add your email address, and it'll be dropped off to you every first of the month. Our next one is in September, so stay tuned for that.
That's exciting, I know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much. I hope you had a great day.
You too. Yeah, and safe travels.
Yeah, sounds good. See you in a bit.
All right.
viewers, OPC 12 is gone viral, and not just from the church pop-up. Our science and technology reporter, Lisa Henry, has been spotted swapping hymnals for hashtags and making holy waves on Wi-Fi. She's here with the scoop on how the Ontario Provincial Council is diving headfirst into the digital age with podcasts, posts, and maybe even a few heavenly uploads.
Thank you, Wilma. I'm coming to you live from the digital headquarters of the CWL Convention, where the upload speed is heavenly, the Holy Spirit's bandwidth is unlimited, and even our prayer requests have QR codes. In a plot twist nobody saw coming, the CWL is on Instagram and YouTube. That's right, we're not just crocheting and catechizing anymore. We are hashtagging, uploading, we're tagging saints, and possibly even trending. Somewhere a millennial is proud. And confused. On Instagram, we've bravely posted 85 pieces of content, not cat videos, but and we now have 87 faithful followers. Sure, it's not Taylor Swift level, but we're playing the long game, sisters. We're gonna stick it out, don't you worry. And YouTube, 2025, and already have 41 subscribers, 6 videos, and 475 views. That's nearly 500 people who voluntarily watch CWL content on purpose. And speaking, I'm Mary Ellen, I'm bringing you everywhere with me. And speaking of divine downloads, have you seen the freshly redesigned online OPC newsletter? How many people have subscribed? Woohoo! It's sleeker than Father's new iPad case and is twice as interactive. Think wholly highlighted headers, clickable Saints quotes, and photos so crisp you'll swear you could smell the convention coffee. Our 3,500 plus subscribers are already loving it. Nearly 1/3 open every issue, and another third can't resist clicking through. That's more engagement than my family group at Chat on Bingo Night. As Daniela and Pauline mentioned in the commercial, and by the way, this is Daniela Carlino right here, our beautiful co-convener, or co-communications chair. So as they mentioned in a commercial, we invite you to subscribe, and today there's no need to delay. We invite you to subscribe, that's right over here with Nancy Richer. Nancy, stand up, and if you'd like to subscribe but you don't know how, Nancy's going to help you through the process, okay? Please go see Nancy and she'll help you on the spot. Got that, National? On the spot? I was pretty proud of that one. And now the biggest news of all. Introducing the brand new Ontario Provincial Council podcast, CWL Compass. Because God will always be guiding us. Because let's face it, when life feels like you've lost your spiritual GPS signal, who better to recalibrate you than Christ and a crew of Catholic women with microphones? Our podcast mission is simple and powerful: to share with you our faith, which is our guiding direction, and to help women navigate with joyful purpose, spreading our love of God through ministry and service throughout Ontario and beyond. We are beyond thrilled to have none other than Dr. Josephine Lombardi joining us as one of our first podcast guests. But before her, we were able to interview last night Margaret Ann Jacobs, and she was our very first, so thank you, Margaret Ann. So please stay tuned for our official launch. Trust us, this is one podcast you will want on your playlist between your rosary and your recipes. You'll spot our very own Daniela Carlino, our super duper director, educator, tech wizard, and unofficial CWL Spielberg, filming around the convention, often in the company of her brilliantly gifted and charming host, Emma. Rose Rayburn. Stand up, Emma, please. And here's a pro tip for you ladies. You never know when they might come up to you with a mic, like last night after the Mass. So consider every hallway your runway and keep that hair and makeup convention ready. CWL fame might be one question away. But behind all of this holy hustle is an incredible group of women, 14 amazing members on the Communications Committee, 4 dedicated members on our podcast team, and 6 talented souls on our Communications Resource Development Committee. Together, we're developing tools and resources to help you and your councils engage women in your parishes and promote the CWL, all while wearing sensible shoes and keeping Jesus at the center. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the true MVP of this tech transformation, my communications co-chair, Daniela Carlino. You are not just invaluable, you are a tremendous blessing, and quite possibly the only reason I haven't flung my computer out the window. And Wilma, just in, a big shout out to Father Stefan back in the corner, who is not only an amazing spiritual advisor, but also our top fan and top sharer on social media. Because we know, ladies, every good post needs a little divine distribution. Thank you, Father Stefan. And finally, William, a few fun stats from our last 90 days. I hope you've charged your coffee cup. Facebook, we're up 17.3% for followers, and we're up 57.5% in interactions. Our newsletter has 3,575 subscribers and over 1,000 clicked on the links. Instagram, 431 interactions, 597 views. Probably at least 400 of those were Daniela checking on her own post, but I think it counts. Thank you, Daniela. So sisters, keep your phones charged, keep your hearts open, because the Ontario Provincial Council is stepping boldly into the digital age, one joyful post, one purposeful podcast, and one spirit-led story at a time. Wilma, this has been your Science and Technology Report. Now back to you at the studio or rosary table, wherever you are. Either way, stay plugged in and prayed up, ladies.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow, there are so many ways to stay in touch with our sisters in the League and spread our great news. That is amazing. Now on to our historian reporter, Linda Scorzolo, guardian of the CWL scrolls and keeper of the sacred photocopies. She's been diving deep into dusty boxes, decoding ancient meeting minutes, and possibly uncovering who really forgot to bring the sandwiches in 1983. Linda, what historical gems do you have for us today?
Thanks, Wilma. I'm sure you'll find it all of you will find it appropriate that the oldest member at the provincial table is also the historian. Well, that may be true, but I got my knee replaced recently, so not all of my parts are as old as the rest. I'm happy to report that many councils are taking the initiative to record their histories and preserve the League's legacy. Research has been done to ensure the names of presidents, spiritual advisors, and all executive members are recorded for posterity. Committees are in the process of making notes from the Council's minutes to document special projects and events in which members participated. Not only are old photographs depicting these special occasions being included, but they are also searching to find the names of the people in these pictures. You may be wondering why this process is so important. In recent years, several parishes have closed or been amalgamated. Councils have folded, and after being in existence for a long time. Members want their legacy preserved. This one history book can be easily stored by another council rather than trying to find space to house several boxes and bins of memorabilia. Why not get started on your council's history? Other topics viewers are encouraged to read important information clarifying elections procedures in the National Manual of Policy and Procedure. Have you checked out articles in the online newsletter regarding topics that may interest past presidents? Finally, you may remember when I was provincial president, my logo was the bee. I want you to consider this question. Where did Noah keep his bees? In his archives. When he was over reporting, back to you, Donna.
Buckle up, ladies. It's time for some high-octane, holy action. We are turning to now Sue Lewis, our service chair reporter, who has been racing from council to council faster than you can say Catholic Women's League. Sue, give us some analysis and hot insights in the top 12 plays of the year by diocesan councils.
Thank you, Wilma. I'm reporting live from the sidelines of the 4 Points Field in London, where members from across the province have gathered for the semi-final convention of the 2024-25 season. There is a big anticipation for the final convention in August in Toronto, but for today we'll be taking a look back at this season and making note of some exceptional plays from the superstars of the game in service and their collaborations with the two other pillars of the league, faith and social justice. This was the first year that most diocesan councils under the new structure of the league, so it wasn't a slam dunk for any of them. But they didn't throw in the towel or drop the ball. Instead, they dug deep, recruited more members from the bench, kept their eye on the ball, and went the distance. From their annual reports, I can tell you that there were more than a few home runs and even some hat tricks in their services to their parishes and communities. Dioceses reported extensively on the strategies they used to raise awareness about the various areas of focus of this standing committee. They focused on key issues like trafficking, homelessness, palliative care, and mental health. They left nothing on the table in addressing these issues. They used service projects like Socktober and Warmvember, backpack collections, tour of facilities, and meetings with management, elected officials. The subcommittee members provided some information for playbooks by giving service teams information on various topics, including the effect of social media on youth, national funds and how they relate to service, latest news from development and peace, pontifical missions, and many other topics. At meetings I hosted and attended by diocesan chairs and subcommittee members, many topics were covered. The provincial president attended our first meeting, and at that meeting where we talked about the Catholic Women's Leadership Foundation and the National Bursary Fund, we were privileged to have a past attendee as a special guest to give us details of that course. Indigenous relations at the provincial level falls under the service chair portfolio. Council presidents should pass on this information to the 3 standing committee chairs at their level, as this is one of the topics that is worked on by all committees. The other one is palliative care. Over this past year, we have come to realize the power of service to build shared purpose, individual agency, and community cohesion through our work in the individual and council levels. However, the stakes have never been higher, and if this year is any indication, that we know that what we do pretty much is a game of inches, but we still need to step up to the plate and continue to deliver and respond when the ball is in our court. Over the next few months, service chairs will inform members about many different and current areas of concern and actions based on the distinctive gifts of their council. Of these, I would like to comment on 3 important areas. Stats Canada reports that in Canada, 80% of survivors of intimate partner violence say that violence they experience is not reported to the police by the survivor or by someone else. Service chairs in Ontario were informed of the Ask Angela program. Plans are in the work for a webinar on intimate partner violence as more and more communities in Ontario declare a state of emergency in this area. In fact, the City of London was the first municipality in Ontario to declare a state of emergency or epidemic regarding intimate partner violence. They made this declaration on September 10th, 2023, and the MPP for Windsor West, Lisa Gretzky, no relation to that Wayne guy, was the prime mover of Bill 173, Intimate Partner Violence Epidemic Act, which passed last March. The ball is now in our court to bring awareness to this topic. Indigenous relations will continue to be focused on beyond the current September 30th National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Some information on land acknowledgements as well as our responsibilities under the 46 treaties and other agreements in Ontario will also be available. Land acknowledgements mark a small but important step in the process of reconciliation and building a positive relationship with Indigenous peoples. But the time has come to go beyond this and walk in solidarity with Indigenous peoples of Ontario and be aware how government bills like Bill 5 allow the Ontario government to fast-track projects by bypassing the duty to consult and obtain free, prior, and informed consent from First Nations. Catholic education in Ontario continues to be a strong focus of this standing committee. An opinion piece in the National Post last year advocated for the removal of both the Catholic and French boards in Ontario. Catholic education in Ontario faces a complex set of challenges, including potential funding cuts, constitutional debates, and the need to navigate a changing social and cultural landscape while maintaining its unique religious identity. Strong associations with other Catholic organizations like the Ontario Association of Parents in Catholic Education or the Ontario Catholic School Trustees Association will go far in strengthening the face of Catholic education in Ontario. As you can tell, Wilma, there are many ways to reimagine what it means to be a service chair in the province of Ontario. Councils at the parish level have a team we call STP. The same 10 people. Service chairs run on purpose, but they cannot run on empty. They need the energy of those still on the bench to come forward with their Gatorade and energy to continue this work. The key to success is communication and education on our role in the huddle at executive meetings or on the field at general meetings. No one is asked to run a marathon. Encourage members to allow themselves to be drafted to the team for a short or a limited time commitment for a special teams initiative or project, to take it one step at a time. This past spring, I had the pleasure of being the provincial representative of both the Kingston and Hearst Moosonee diocesan conventions. At both occasions, I did a presentation on leadership as behavior. In those presentations, I drew from the executive orientation workshop available on the national website, and I'm quoting from that. Education is the key to learning. Learning is the key to knowledge. Knowledge is the key to understanding. Understanding leads to self-development. Self-development leads to confidence. Confidence reduces fear, and lack of fear leads to willingness to take on leadership roles. We all need a cheering section, Wilma, and at this time, I would like all service chairs and the service subcommittee members here present to stand. Wilma, these women don't get a participation ribbon. What they should get is an MVP award for their contributions to their parishes and communities. Thank you all for your dedication to serving God and Canada.
Thank you, Sue. Wow, what action from our diocesan teams. Just goes to show you that teamwork makes the dream work. And now, for for our favorite segment of our program, Our Moment. Our Moment features our very own powerhouse Vice President, Karen McDonald. If good news were a superpower, Karen would be saving the day, one council at a time. Get ready for our moments of joy. Karen will share an uplifting report that will have you smiling wider than a double rainbow. So hold on to your hats, because she will be announcing the names of reactivated and brand new councils, each shining bright on your screen as we speak. Take it away, Karen.
Thank you, Wilma. Let's put our sisterly hands together for St. Thomas Aquinas and Saints Martha and Mary Council in the Toronto Diocese. These councils reactivated in 2024 and the other in 2025. Let's hear it for them. I don't know if they're here. And the news gets better, Wilma. We need to keep praying for and encouraging these 6 parish councils that are working toward reactivating. St. John the Evangelist in Dundalk, I believe that's Hamilton Diocese. They're up. Oh! Now there's joyful news. They're up. Thanks, Teresa, for the update. Christ the King Council in Moosonee. That's way up there in Hearst, Moosonee. I bet they have moose there. Kudos to life member Lynn Olenek. And I don't think past us and President Nancy Bouvier. Where is Lynn? There's Lynn. Stand up, Lynn. She won our Social Justice Award last year. Kudos for their tireless efforts in going to Moosonee. We're with you, sisters. Keep it up. It's going to happen. And then there are 3 parishes, or councils, yes, in Peterborough Diocese, working toward reactivating. I'm told St. Joseph's Council in Bracebridge, St. Therese Council in Courtice, and St. Luke's Council in Downeyville. And last but not least, we have 1 council in my home diocese of Sault Ste. Marie. Where's Patricia? Where did she go? Oh, she's not here. St. Andrew the Apostle in Sudbury is also in the process of reactivating. And before I sign off, there's one last bit of joyful news. We need to get our rosaries out for this. I'm told the women of St. Casimir Parish in Round Lake Centre, that's the Pembroke Diocese, are once again considering forming a CWL council. So remain joyful, sisters. There's always hope. Signing off, Karen McDonald. You don't want me to sing in the mic, do you? Sorry? Oh. Okay.
Okay, what a great way to conclude our morning news program. But before we leave you, we have one further message we would like to leave. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always join the CWL. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are members you have. Join now. Let's listen to the many things their councils can accomplish. They organize, evangelize, and elect those of justice. How can you lose? Your light will shine brighter there. You can forget troubles, go pray for your cares. So join now. This is the place to be. Join now. Be part of history. Join now. Everything's waiting for you. Maybe you know some other ladies who go, and you can join them too. Join now. You will find there are light and faith and women who are